I'm Kendall Rivero, a student in the audio/video class at North Central Missouri College. The Pirate People podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. My guest today is Mason Tharp, Avery Rivero, and Trenton Trebe. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between lifting in-season and off-season lifting. So, what type of things do you do? What type of lifting do you do in the off-season versus in-season lifting?
Off-season I lift a little bit more heavier than I would the in-season. Knowing as my freshman year, what I would do is I would lift and max out more stuff during the winter and like the fall when we're not playing as much. But once season gets in, what we do is I use more body weight, so I'm not as fatigued and tired as when going through the season and stuff. More like push-ups for your chest and stuff like that.
Well, when I'm in season, I typically try and do more legs, and I give my arms a rest. When I do arms, it's usually high reps, lower weight. I focus on core a lot too, like doing ab workouts. And then all season, I'm hitting everything pretty hard, doing a lot of like max outs, pushing my muscles to the limit.
Pretty much the same as Avery and Tharp. Off season, I'm really working on gaining muscle and working a lot of upper body and lower body. And mid season, just working on mostly like deadlift and squat, lower body type exercises, along with like push ups and lunges and more body weight type exercises, where in off season I'm doing a lot of weight and maxing out.
For me, during the off season, I try to bulk up and gain as much muscle as I can and get stronger. And during season, I try to cut the weight that I've gained, but keep the strength that I gained, and just do more high reps, lower weight, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. That's definitely right, because in season, you want to get as much like weight on you as you can muscle wise during the fall, because during the spring you don't have a lot of time to work out because we're constantly traveling, so you do lose a lot of like fat and stuff like that, because you can't really, it's constantly working out. Not working out, but you're constantly doing stuff like playing and all that stuff. So you want to get as much weight on you as you can through the fall.
Pretty much same with me as Avery's been saying. Like off season, I'm really working on like my calories, I guess. And during mid season, I'm not really making sure that I'm consuming like my 3,000 calories, and I'm not really caring about my weight as much. But off season, I'm really working on gaining weight and getting bigger.
Another thing I like to focus on in season and off season is like doing mobility workouts. Focus on like leg, shoulder mobility, hip mobility. Do them a lot more in season and more stretch, but
yeah, I guess, yeah, because you always, us three, we're pitchers, so you always need to stay flexible no matter if you're in off season or in season. It doesn't really matter. Like hip mobility is a big thing. Being flexible in your hips really is a big thing, and just being flexible overall. So that's one thing that like in season and off season everybody usually works on, and it's one of those things that doesn't really stop you from playing, because it won't really make you sore like deadlifting or squatting would, like maxing out. So it's something that most people do throughout the season.
Another thing that's good to focus on in the off season is like mobility workouts, but pushing strength with them too. Like strength and mobility at the same time.
As a catcher on the off season, I try to incorporate legs into twice a week at least, to get my legs strong and ready to be able to squat for multiple games a week during the season, and get flexibility in my hips and yeah, but still keeping strength. But talk about how y'all's workouts are different than probably a normal position player. Because I know you guys do other...
Yeah,
We do a lot less upper body.
Yeah, it's more like for pitching wise. I mean, some guys do like the bodybuilding stuff where you just gain mass, but there's mostly what you want to do as a pitcher is like quick movements. So like hex bar deadlift, but instead of just deadlifting it, you jump. You know what I mean?
It's like more explosive, I guess, than like other position players. It's more of a jumping upwards or more explosive, I guess, from the bottom up.
Yeah, you just want to get your like fast, quick twitch muscles like ready when you're throwing. It helps you out just being more explosive as you would be on the mound. So it's a big thing to be more explosive when working. This is more conditioning, but like running long distance helps more of like moving lactic acid and stuff like that, while sprints, does the same thing, but it also helps, like I said, with your like how quickly you can move and stuff like that off the mound. It helps with that. Tharp?
What?
Do y'all think it's important to... What do you guys feel about working out every day or taking days off to the week, or you guys just straight every day of the week?
Working out every day is fine if you're doing it the right way.
If it's like lower body, like I think it'd be kind of dangerous if you're working like upper body, like every day, due to us like also throwing and using our upper body a lot during baseball. But I think working lower body every day, I think would be fine, long as you're being smart about it and taking days off every now and then.
Yeah, mine is I work out every day, but the thing is I usually don't work out on the weekends because you can push your body so much, but your body does need rest.
You need to recover.
Yeah, your body needs to recover. If you're just pushing your body this whole time, it's never going to recover, and you're just going to be in the
tearing muscles up.
Yeah, tearing muscles. You know what I mean? Like pulling hamstrings and stuff like that. So you need to...
Tearing UCLs.
Yeah, you need to have... At least I take the weekends off to let my body rest. So...
How do you guys feel about supplements, and do you guys buy into a brand or certain thing, take it every time, or how do you guys feel about supplements?
Ibuprofen.
I take supplements such as like creatine and like pre-workout. I think pre-workout's a fine thing to take because it just helps me stay focused. And sometimes, if you don't want to go to the gym and you're just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of going through it, the pre-workout kind of like helps you, just because the caffeine content helps you push through it and really gets you focused to lift and helps quite a bit. The creatine is kind of a long-term thing that helps build muscle, but the only thing with that is you gotta drink a lot of water because it can destroy your kidney and stuff like that, because you already have creatine in your body, so you don't need more, but it helps. I don't take steroids, so I take
I take creatine whenever I'm like trying to gain a bunch of mass, like in the winter and off season, but mid season I really don't take creatine, but I still do take pre-workout, and I do agree with Avery, it really does get you like in the right mindset whenever you're about to go work out, along with doing some post protein shakes. I think those really help out, and just drinking a lot of water also helps, especially when drinking or whenever you're taking creatine, because if you don't drink a bunch of water with creatine, it can really help.
I think that steroids should be allowed for us to use as pitchers.
But it's...
I really do.
Imagine
the capabilities if we could take steroids.
Yeah, but the side effects for your body is terrible.
What? Small?
No, it's just terrible. Another thing I don't do, but I know some people do.
SARMs.
No, it's people take like vitamins, like not like fish oil and stuff like that, just to cleanse their body anyway. But like I've heard people do take that. I mean, it helps a lot. Personally, I don't because it's so expensive. But like, yeah, just that's more of the bodybuilder side of it. I don't know if a whole lot of people do it on the athlete side of it, but I don't know. Just people personally, I don't know. I don't take anything else that isn't like performance enhancing. So I mean, I don't think anybody here does, and I don't know. In my opinion, that's kind of cheating. So I mean, it's a big difference.
Not cheating if everyone else can do it too.
I mean, I'm definitely steroids. I think is kind of like bad for you, but I think fish oil, like I've used that and magnesium, and I think that's really beneficial for your joints and your heart, which I've used that for several years, and I've always liked using that. But
How do you guys think you have to incorporate stretching and rolling out and treatment to your like everyday lifting thing?
I mean, stretching is a big part. Just getting warm, period, is a huge part of lifting and even practice or anything like that. I mean, you don't want to go in cold and literally just, I mean, that's how you get hurt, is if you start lifting while your body's not ready to be lifted. And it can tear things, can pull hamstrings, such as like if your legs are cold and you're running, they could tear your hamstring or something like that. It's a huge thing, in my opinion, to always stretch before and after a workout to get everything relaxed.
And how do you guys find a workout routine that fits you? Because I know there's a lot of workouts and different programs, and how do you find what works for you? Do you just do it all once?
Trial and error, basically.
yeah, I've like over the
Find
years,
something
I
you
guess
like.
I've learned what my body likes and dislikes and what works best for me to gain muscle. But I think just trying different stuff and seeing whatever personally works for you is probably the best, honestly.
Yeah, I follow other baseball players, like Division I baseball players and big pro guys, and I usually look at their workouts and see what they're doing because, I mean, obviously they've done something right, so I look at what they're doing and seeing if that will work for me.
Basically.
Yeah.
You just gotta find something that you like and that you're gonna get, or you get results with, and stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Being consistent is really important. in a
Yeah.
workout.
But I don't know, a lot of people have different things that they do. A lot of people, I don't know, some baseball players go through the bodybuilding lifts side of it, just trying to gain mass and muscle and be, I mean, huge. I mean, a great example would be like Carlos Stanton. I mean, he's just massive. While on the other side, there's a lot of guys that are, I mean, just as good as him and are not as big. I feel like there's a big misconception that baseball players shouldn't lift, like, at all. And I think that's just not the way of thinking because, I mean, maybe they didn't lift back, I don't know, a while ago, but like now in days of age, I mean, that's how you throw harder, that's how you get faster is lifting. And I personally think every sport should lift, even if it's baseball. It's a different type of lifting, it's not at all the same. Football lifting is not going to be the exact same as baseball lifting, but overall, every sport player needs to gain mass and get bigger and stronger because, I mean, that's how it is. Everything's bigger, stronger, faster nowadays. You see guys in the major leagues throwing 100, so it's like you got to compete with that and
You see
be up to
college,
date.
and high school people.
Yeah, I was
throwing
going to say.
100 nowadays.
Yeah, you see guys in high school doing that, so it's like you got to keep up with everybody else doing it. But I don't know. It's a big misconception in my opinion. So it's
just, I feel like if you're not doing it right, it could really mess you up, but you kind of just have to find everything that works and everything.
Consistency.
Consistency is a big thing.
Something that works for you and then get results.
That's the Pirates People podcast for this week. I'm Kendall Rivero, a student in the audio and video class at North Central Missouri College. The Pirate People podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.